welcome. Just one more time, I want to reiterate that you'll have 2 balls of any type, a strap with you, also a block, and that could be a block or even a pillow, something that we can put underneath our hips to lift them up if that's going to work for your body. Find a comfortable place to be. That might be lying on your back. You might be in constructive rest with the feet flat on the floor and the knees bent. Remember that this is your practice and you are going to practice in a way that is safe and comfortable for yourself. So if at any point you feel discomfort, then take a rest, decide not to do that pose. When you have come onto your back and you are in a comfortable position with the knees bent, the feet flat on the floor, knees and hips same distance apart, give yourself a bit of a lift into the head, chin into the chest, and then place the head back down so that the back of the neck can have some length. You might allow the hands to be on the belly or maybe palms up alongside the body, whatever feels most comfortable for you. So to start, we'll share 3 breaths so that we can release the past, release planning, release what might be ruminating in the mind. Take a deep, deep inhale through the nose, a big sigh out the mouth. Deep inhale through the nose, big sigh out the mouth. And then one more like that. Settle into the body. Take a moment to notice your inner landscape. Sensations in the body, quality of the thoughts, mood or feeling. Welcome whatever is there. Let it be without story or judgment. Just witness. Soften through the face, the eyes, the jaws, the shoulders, the arms. Feel that supported grounding as you yield to gravity. Notice the feet, the hips, the shoulders, and the back of the head. Shift your awareness to your breath and allow it to flow in and out the nose naturally. Notice your breath rhythm, where the breath is moving in the body, the ease of flow of the breath, any texture and quality that is part of this rhythm of breathing. Let the mind be fully absorbed in the rhythm of breath, in the quality and space that the breath is taking up in the body. And then notice where your center is. And it might feel like it's in the belly, and it might feel like it's in the heart. And acknowledge the breath in this space as if the breath arises and falls away from your place of center. From this place of center, see if an intention might arise for your practice today. An intention could be like an offering. Your practice may be an offering to a person, an entity, an idea, maybe to a community. Your intention might also have something to do with yourself and what you might need to cultivate in your place, in your healing for today. Allow the heart wisdom or the gut wisdom to identify your intention, your sankalpa for today. And then form the sankalpa in the present. It might be, I am offering my practice as a dedication to this community or to this individual. I am offering my practice in healing to someone or to myself. Maybe my practice is for strength and stability, whatever it is for you. And we'll take 3 shared breaths again to send our intention out to the world. Taking a deep inhale through the nose, allow the mouth to open, big exhale. Deep inhale when you're ready, release. And one more. As the breath comes back to its natural rhythm, rock the head from side to side. Massage the back of the head and also create some mobility in that cervical spine. When the head comes back to center, draw one knee and then the other into the chest, one hand on either knee. Separate the knees apart, move them away from the body, draw them together, and then back to the chest. So it might be as the knees move away, you inhale. As they come towards the belly, you exhale. Hands on the knees so that the elbows and the shoulders are mobilizing as well. And then change the direction. When the knees next come into your chest, only if it's okay with your head and neck, see about drawing the nose towards your knees. As you soften head and shoulders down, see about floating hands and feet up, a flex and a point. And then allow the knees to come back into the chest, nose might come up. Soften head and shoulders down, float hands and feet, maybe a point and flex. So you're moving this way a few times, getting all of the joints to start to mobilize. Connect with the core if you're lifting your head as well. Next time the head and shoulders are down and the hands and feet are up, start to circle out the hands and feet. So those wrists and ankles might have a few cricks or cracks. Give them this beautiful rotation and then head around the other way. Keep the hands up, but bend the knees and let the shins be parallel to the ground. You might find that you have a little space between the lower back. Arms are reaching up. So option one is to keep the legs squeezing together and hold the legs without movement. You can probably already feel that the belly is working. To make it easier, the knees come closer into the chest. To make it more challenging, you'll reach one arm towards the wall behind you and then bring it back to the start. Another option is to extend the leg opposite the arm and then come back to the start. So as you extend the leg, if that's what you're choosing to do, just make sure that the leg only extends out and lowers down as far down as feels okay for your lower back. So move with your breath. Take a break. Draw the knees into the chest whenever you want. And you can always come back to one of the options where the legs aren't moving. If you're still with me, we'll do one more each side. Good. And then bend the knees more. Place the feet down on the ground. Clasp opposite elbows. And to start, we'll circle out those elbows one direction a couple times. And then the other direction. Land this elbow basket in front of your chest. And then head the elbows to the right and the knees to the left. Float through center on the inhale, exhale, opposite side. So the legs are spread apart because this is less about a twisty spine and more about the hips. When that feels complete, release the hands. You're going to do a roll over to one side just to find those balls. And whatever balls they are, I'm just using my bottom hand to help me up. I'm going to place the balls on my back. What I want to make sure is that I don't really have a ball on the spine. It's on either side. And for me, I'd like to be a little bit more into the shoulder blades. So I'm going to have my ball placement just ahead of the bra line. I could also go a little bit further up if I wanted to affect neck issues or those shoulders a little bit more. So anywhere along that line, but not up into the lower neck. You're also going to take a block and place that block where your head is. So for me, I'm going to lower back down onto the balls, shifting my body as I need to get the balls into a proper placement, and then lowering my head down. So it might feel that your chest is kind of puffed up a little bit. I'm going to roll around a little bit more to find a parts of the spine that feels good. So it's somewhere in between the shoulder blades and at that thoracic spine. So right away for me, I feel like even if I were to push into my feet, lift my hips, I could do this little rocking and I get a beautiful massage. So I know by doing this little test that I've got a spot that is safe and it's comfortable for my body. You can set your hips down again. Make sure that your chin is slightly into the chest, that this is a comfortable position, and then you're going to reach the arms in front of you. Create little owl eyes so that the thumb and the pointer finger come together. And then let those circles come all the way in front of your chest. And then reach the arms so that your arms are over top your face. Then you're going to open the arms, create a small circle, and bring your pinky fingers to touch, but closer to the space just above your navel. So it's not a big circle. You're rotating the little owl eyes together and then creating this circle, and the pinky fingers come together. So do that a few times and notice the sensation on the back, the massage of the balls. Next time the hands come to those little owl eyes, turn the backs of the wrists together. Slide the hands so that they're more in front of the chest, so the arms are still straight. And then it's like we're doing a swim. We're going to open the arms towards the floor beside us and then scoop palms face towards each other together. Rotate around and then open up and then rotate and squeeze together. So we have backs of the wrists together and we swim open, fronts of the wrists come back together and then rotate around. If at any point this feels uncomfortable or it doesn't feel good for the neck, then remove whatever prop you have behind you and do these movements without anything behind your back. Let's do one more like that. And then we're going to bring our fingertips together. So Hakini Mudra, a little dome in between the fingers, and allow those outstretched arms to come close towards your thighs, and then stretch and reach over the head towards the wall behind you. So towards the thighs, you can let your breath be part of this movement, maybe an inhale when the arms are reaching. And so that full range of motion for the arms outstretching is maybe different in each arm. So if one arm doesn't go as far as the other, then stick to the place where the first arm wants to stop. Let's do about 2 more of these. From here, we'll goddess the arms out, sometimes called cactus arms. And it might be challenging to really have the arms touch the ground because, of course, we have our chest lifted a little bit. So allow the arms to be out to the sides, potentially touching or almost touching. You might have elbows touch, but not wrists. And then lower the elbows just slightly towards your waist a bit, and then see about reaching them up long. And we'll just do 2 of those. One, you lower the arms a bit, and then one, you reach them up long. Come back out to the side, so the most comfortable placement of your goddess arms. And then let the arms come back. I like to put my elbows into the ground to help support the roll over to one side. Top arm presses me up so I can take those balls and put them off to the side. I'm also going to take that block and remove it so I can roll myself back onto the back. This time I don't want to have a block behind the head. Chin is going to be back into the chest again. Take a pause to feel the space into the upper back. The knees and the feet are still hip width distance apart. And this time I'm going to think about anchoring the feet down. They might come a little closer to me. Anchoring the back of the head. Hands, palms down alongside the body. Push the feet into the ground, but tuck the tailbone first and articulate the spine 1 vertebra at a time until you can lift it up. Still keep some energetic quality between the knees, and then 1 vertebra at a time, roll down the spine. We'll do that again. So think about some contraction into the bum as you lift and reach up. And then articulating the spine, lowering down. Find that block that you had. It might be a cushion, it might be a pillow, and we'll do that articulation 1 more time. So squeeze into the bum, a little pelvic tilt. You're lifting that up, trying to lift one vertebra at a time into our little bridge. Place the block underneath the sacrum, so where the hips are, not the low back, and then lower down the hips so that now we're in our supported bridge, our supported Sedabhanasana. Stay here. See how this feels. Rested, supported. And then extend your right leg long. And if extending the right leg long gives you any icky sensation in the lower back, then bend the knee and get rid of the block. Totally get rid of it. When you're back, if you got rid of the block, once again, extend that right leg. The heel is down and the heel is anchored. Then you're going to flex the foot, so dorsiflexion, so the toe draws towards the knee, and then rotate the leg bone out and the leg bone in. I like to place my hand on the hip and just notice how the femur bone is rotating in the hip socket, and that I can feel the psoas, that hip flexor, moving as well. Next time you have that internal rotation, slide the heel over to the left side. Take the right hand, reach it up, and it might be back to that goddess arm. And then see about shimmying the shoulders over to the left side so that the whole right side is getting a big length and extension. And at the same time, your hips and your shoulders remain anchored. Breathe into the whole right side of the body. Take a deep, deep, deep inhale, and then a big exhale out the mouth. Release the arm. Slide the shoulders back to center. Bring that right heel back, and then bend the right knee. Place it down. Head over to the other side. So the left leg extends straight out. Heel is anchored. We rotate the leg bone out, and we rotate it in. Rotate out and rotate in. So the leg is actually moving right at the top of the hip. Next time the foot is turning inward, so the leg bone is internally rotated, slide the heel over to the right side. Take that left arm, place it in either an extended position or a goddess pose, and then shimmy the shoulders to the right. So it's kind of like that right side of the body is shortened while the whole left side is nice and long. You turn your head in whatever direction feels comfortable for the neck, and breathe into that whole banana shape on the left side. Big inhale when you're ready. Big exhale out the mouth. Release the arm. Shimmy shoulders back to center. Extend the legs straight out. Option 1, bend both knees, take a pause. Option 2, only if this feels okay for your lower back, extend both legs straight, supported back bend. Extend both arms. See about reaching feet and hands away from each other. Big, big, big stretch and extension. Good. And then release the arms. Bend one knee and then the other at a time. Anchor the feet down. Lift the hips up. Remove the block. Set the hips back down. Check in with yourself. If this feels okay, stay here. Or draw the knees up and into the chest. This might help to release the low back. Wherever you are, the left foot is either going to stay on the ground or go to the ground, the knee bent. The right knee is in the chest. Turn the side of the foot to the knee out so the side of the foot can go into that left thigh. Stay here. Walk the left foot closer to you. Put the left foot on a block or draw the left knee in. Lace the hands around the back of the thigh for a figure 4. You might like to rock side to side a little bit. Or you might like to rock a little bit over to that left side to accentuate the stretch into the right glute. This is great for that piriformis muscle. It helps with low back pain. It's really yummy for the hips. So hold and breathe here. One more breath. And then unwind the legs, place that right foot down, knee bent. Left knee goes out to the side of the foot goes onto the left thigh. And then draw that knee in, giving yourself a squeeze, hands on the back of the thigh. Maybe that tilt over to the right side to increase sensation on that left hip. One more breath. Release that left leg. Let both knees come into the chest for just a moment. Lace the hands around that right shin and extend that left leg out long. Hover the leg, give yourself a point and a flex. Left leg comes in, hands transfer to that shin, right leg extends long and hovering, point and a flex. Right leg again comes in. This time the left leg as it extends pushes firmly down to the ground. Squeeze that right knee in tighter. Keep pushing the left leg down onto the ground. You might feel the front of the thigh. And then 3 times, we'll release the right knee from its squeeze and then squeeze a little deeper. And then release and squeeze. One more time, release and squeeze. And then we'll allow the knee to head out to the side. So it's supported by that right arm, heads out to the side, keep the hips level, and then comes back in. You head the right knee out to the right. And then it comes back in. Left leg stays anchored one more time. Right knee out to the right. And then back in. Holding right knee into the chest. Left one comes in. Hands lace around that shin. Right one extends long. Anchor firm and strong. Feel the stretch in the front of the thigh. Squeeze left knee in. And then soften it away. Squeeze in. Release. One or more times. Squeeze a little tight. And then open the knee out to the side and let it come back in. Open out to the side, supported, and back. And last time, out to the side, and then back in. Both knees come back into the chest. Roll yourself over to one side. Use the top arm to press yourself up. Find your strap close by, and then something that can support your seat. So I'm going to sit up on a little block. Couple options. You can be in a cross-legged position. You could have the bottom of the feet together. You can have the legs extended long. So totally up to you what works best for your body. Just take the sit bones and pull them back a little bit. So those ischial tuberosities pointing down are sits bones. And then that means that the pubic bone kind of rolls forward a bit. That allows our spine to be in a nice upright, neutral position. Sit bones rooting down. Spine is nice and tall, long, chin just slightly lower. So we're not popping that chin up. Hands come to the shoulders. Rotate the elbows around. This could be a small rotation to start, warming into these joints. The rotation might get a little bigger, watching for those cricks and cracks. And then change the direction. Good. Once the elbows are out to the side, again, hold that and then squeeze shoulder blades together. So elbows are reaching back further. Squeeze the elbows together in front of you and the front of the chest. So use the muscles as we inhale to open the elbows, exhale to close. So engage the muscles of the upper chest and the upper back. So it's easy to just kind of flop these around, but I want you to be strong with the muscles. You're intentionally contracting and releasing. One more. Good. Elbows out to the side. Notice how comfortable the elbows can lift up You don't really want to lift them much further because of those clavicle bones that are stopping that lift. So instead, let's drop the elbows down and then come back to that starting position. And drop down and start depressing the shoulders a bit down and up and down and up. So you can still feel the shoulders working, I'm sure. Let's do one more. Good. If you feel like changing across your legs, you can do that. Interlace the fingers, stretch them forward, up, reaching up towards the sky. And then spread the elbows wide as you lower the hands behind your head and stretch back up. Bend elbows wide, hands behind the head, stretch back up. And you have one more. Good. Release the hands. Interlace those hands behind your back. Press the palms back and away. Front of the chest reaches, and then parallel that chin towards the ground. Good. Release the hands. Find that strap. Okay, the strap is going to be able to change its length as you need, but the elbows are going to stay straight. So soften to the shoulders. Keep that chin from popping up. That's going to create a lot of tension in the back of the head. So keep the chin even slightly lower. And we'll bring the strap into both hands. Arms are wide, reaching the arms up. Squeeze the shoulder blades. You might need to widen the space between the strap to draw the hands back. And then lift and reach back up. So notice that there might be like a little sticky spot as you bring the strap behind you. You can go really, really slow through that. You can also choose to bump up to it. So come up to it and then stop. Or you might stay in it and take a full breath. If it's easy, or you can feel that it's sliding well to move through, then do one more like that. Good. Let's put the strap over to the right side in the right hand. And you can keep your legs as they are. Or I'm going to take my left knee and point it forward. The foot's sort of tucked over towards that right hip. And then cross over the other foot. So this is also an option. If that works for your body, you can stay there. To go deeper, another point would be to put the side of that right knee onto the left knee. So the feet kind of splay out and the knees are hugging and they're right in front of you. If this isn't working for your body, don't do it. Just sit in a way that feels good, because we're going to work on the arms. So this is really nice for the hips, unless it doesn't feel good for you. Reach that right arm out and then bend the elbow and put the strap behind you. Left arm reaches out, bend the elbow, palm face out, and then see about walking the hands as they clasp to the strap towards each other. Keep the chin again from popping up. Keep it parallel to the ground, and then hold when you come to a place where you feel a stretch. Now, it doesn't have to be a big stretch. Wherever you feel a stretch that is good for your body, not overdoing. Okay, let's take another breath. If you're in this funny leg shape, which, by the way, it makes me laugh, it's called cow face pose, then keep the spine nice and tall and long, and maybe you can lean the torso a little bit forward. If you aren't in the little leg position, don't worry about it. Stay nice and tall and breathe into the shoulders. Good, let's do one more breath. And slowly, I like to release my bottom arm first, because for me, that's the bigger stretch. So wiggle out that bottom hand, and then I slowly release the top one. Nice and slow, because it's a big, big stretch. My hands are going to come down to support. You might want to do the same to change the legs. So if you're cross-legged, change over to the other side. Again, if you're going to do this posture, you have the right knee in front of the right hip, left foot goes across. You can stay here, or put the side of the leg onto the other so that the knees are kind of close together. Feet spread apart. And then the strap goes into the left hand. We reach it out, bend the elbow, and slide the hand behind the head. Other hand goes out, bend the elbow underneath, palm face out, and then walk those hands towards each other. Keep the spine tall and long. So think about sit bones rooting down, top of the head reaching up. Breathe there. And then only if it feels okay for you, you might do a little bit of a forward move. And we'll come back up. If you did lean forward, unwind the bottom arm first, and then release the top. Send the strap off to the side. Support yourself with your hands to unwind the legs wherever they were. You can stack the legs and then come into a tabletop posture. So wrist under shoulders, knees and hips in line. As you inhale, find that length. So tailbone, crown of the head reaching away. You don't need to make this a back bend. We're going to do back bends in other ways. And then exhale, scoop the belly around the spine. So I find that doing back bends here make my back feel really cranky. So I'd rather do this rounding and then come back to a neutral spine. Let's do one more like that. When you do come back to that neutral spine, see about supporting into the left side and then reach that right leg out behind you. So the hips stay level. Bend the knee of the extended leg and dip it behind the left leg and across. Reach that right leg out again and then bend the knee, lift the hip like you're reaching the knee towards that right shoulder. Reach it out again and then bend and dip behind the left. Reach it out and lift it up to the side. Good, one more time. Reach it out, bend it behind, reach it out, and squeeze and lift up. Good, reach that right leg back out, take a pause, and then draw the knee in. Both knees are down, hips are gonna stay above the knees. Walk the hands forward, and then see about resting or anchoring the chest down. You might have the forehead on the ground. This idea of resting the chest towards the earth with the bum up gives you a big opening into the armpits, the shoulders. Careful of the neck. And then walk the hands towards you as you lift up back to that tabletop. Left leg extends out. Hips are level to start. Bend the knee, cross it over to that right side. Extend the leg out behind. Lift the knee. This is called fire hydrant pose. And then extend it back behind and then bend across. So lots of work for the hips, reaching back, bend the knee like you're doing a side crunch to the shoulder, reach back and over. One more time, lifting up and out to the side, straighten it back, and then let that foot come down into our plank pose. You might have a plank pose that you do in your full version. You might have the knees down. You might like the forearms down. Every time we do plank pose together, we are going to go down to our belly after. So it's totally up to you when you do that. If you like, you can stay in your plank pose a little longer. Eventually lowering yourself onto your belly. Widen the thighs a bit, hands under the shoulders. Shoulders pushing down so that they aren't crowding the neck. Inhale to lift the chest, heart rising forward, back of the neck is long, chin to the chest. Exhale to lower down. Two more like that. Lift for our Bhujangasana, cobra pose, and lower. And last one. From here, press into the hands. Choose downward dog or child's pose, shifting the hips back or tucking the toes and shifting the hips up. Whichever works best for your body. Interchangeable poses. You might be walking out the dog in downward dog. From whichever posture, we're going to come into a forward fold. So taking your time, Walking into a forward fold, hands come to shins. Halfway lift the spine, and then exhale to fold. Give yourself that halfway lift and lengthen. Pause there, and then bend the knees and send the bum behind you and lift the torso and lift the arms. So we're coming into our chair pose. So really lift the torso and firm into the belly so that the knees stay behind the toes. Hold and breathe here. And then we're going to allow the arms to reach out. Let the right arm come under the left, like you're giving yourself a little hug. Maybe the backs of the arms come together or the front. And then squeeze that belly in again and round the spine. Breathe into the space between the shoulder blades. Push into the feet, straighten the legs, come up nice and tall, unwind the arms, lift all the way up. And exhale the hands to the heart. Good. Step the left foot forward and the right foot back. Anchor the right heel down and the left knee right over top the ankle. So we're set for our warrior two. Both of the hips kind of facing forward. So warrior one, sorry. Virabhadrasana one. Reach and lift the arms up. Take a pause here. So Virabhadrasana one. Nice. Good. Allow that left hand to come down. Reach up through the right and then exhale over to the left side. So the whole side body getting a nice stretch. Beautiful. Inhale to come back up. Let the hands both come to the heart. We're going to turn towards that front knee only, towards the left. So as you exhale, squeeze the belly, turn to the left. And then come back to center. Move that right hip as you need. If you need to bend the knee a bit, do that. Squeeze the belly, turn, and then back. One more time. Squeeze belly, arms open, and then back. Good. Place that left hand back on the thigh. Reach that right arm forward, but across. So it's like you're opening up the space of the shoulder and the back. And then lift up to the sky with that arm. Sweep back so you can turn your foot and the hip as you need, and then sweep the hand over to that right side and across to the left. Lift up like you're looking under your shoulder. Sweep, 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 sweep. Last time. Lifting up. Beautiful. And then sweep forward. Release that hand so that you have both hands beside you. And then put the weight into the front foot to lift the back leg off the ground. Squeeze the bum. Find a point to fix your gaze. Option is to lift and lower that back leg or draw it to the chest and then send the knee back, send the leg back. Draw the knee to the chest and then send it back. One more time, up and then back. And then pause with that knee into the chest. And it could be with the toe down or the knee lifted. And see about rotating the knee out to the side. The foot comes to wherever it wants to on the standing leg. Draw that standing leg hip in. Remember, the foot can always be on the floor. And then allow the arms to lift and reach out. Beautiful. Your tree pose. Nice. Allow the hands to come down. Draw that knee through center. Anchor the feet. Step to the top of the mat if you aren't there already. Inhale to lift up. Exhale, lower down. Hands to the shins to halfway lift. Exhale to lower. Plant the hands. Step that right foot back. And the knee can be down if you like, or it can be up, whatever works for you. Wherever you are, squeeze the legs together and let the hands come to the front thigh. And then allow the arms to reach up. You might shift the hips forward. This could be a little bit more like a crescent lunge based on what works for you. And then allow the hands to come down. Drop the back knee and slide the front foot forward so that the back knee can be right underneath the hip. So you're in this sort of 90-degree angle for both legs. From here, we'll do some pelvic tilts. So you're going to draw the pubic bone up towards the sternum and then release it back. You're going to feel a big stretch in the front of that psoas. So pull up and release down. And pull up and release. Good. Pull up and release. And this last time, that tuck under the tailbone, hold. Feel the stretch in that right hip flexor. One more breath. And then release. Let the hands come down. Slide that front foot back. You're coming back to your version of plank pose. Breathing. Whatever it is for you. Squeeze those front ribs in towards your belly and towards your body. Going down to your belly whenever you're ready. When you do lower down, widen the legs out a little. Widen the arms out, extended. We'll lift the chest at the same time as the right arm and the left leg. And then lower down. Opposite side, left arm, right leg, and chest, and lower. Move side to side. You might inhale to do your lift if you like. This is very good for strength along the spine, the multifidus. Keeping the back neck long so that you have the chin slightly into the chest. One more each side if you like. When that's done, hands press under shoulders, and you're up and back to your child's pose, or maybe to your downward dog. Your call. Wherever you are, soften your jaws, soften your forehead, and give yourself a big exhale out the mouth. Eventually, we'll make our way into a forward fold. So if you're in child's pose, you might decide to come into a kneeling position and then step one foot forward and the other, and then head into your downward dog, or head into your forward fold, Uttanasana. Wherever you are, once you come into your forward fold, let the hands come into the shins to halfway lift and lengthen, and exhale to fold. That halfway lift we'll do again. So you're in a flat spine. Bend the knees and send the bum back. Knees stay behind the toes. Lift the chest. So you're really lifting the torso. So you've got those lovely natural curves. Arms might reach out for your chair pose. Another breath here. And then the arms go wide for a moment. And you take the left arm underneath your right. You give yourself a little hug. Maybe the backs of the arms come together. Maybe the front. And then we accentuate that rounding. Scoop the belly round. Breathe into the lower back. Breathe into the upper back. Push the feet into the ground. Straighten the legs. Unwind the arms. Reach and lift up. Exhale the hands to the heart. Step right foot forward, left one back. The back heel can be down. It doesn't have to be anchored though. Bend into the right knee until it's right over top of ankle. Reach and lift the arms up. Virabhadrasana 1. Your warrior 1 pose. Beautiful. Release the right hand. Reach up through the left. And then exhale over to the right side. So that whole left side of the body gets a really nice lengthening. Inhale to come back up. Hands come to the heart. Turning towards that right leg only. Squeeze the belly. Soften the back leg as much as you need, or bend the knee to let yourself turn easily towards that right side. Come back to center. And then exhale, squeeze and turn. One more like that. Come back to center. Anchor that right hand onto the thigh. Left arm reaches across. And then you kind of do a look under your armpits, twisting open the body, and then sweep the arm left and across. Do a look underneath. You're really allowing the hip to move where it needs, sweeping across. Open One more time, sweeping across. Beautiful. Come back to center, release the hands alongside your body. Weight into that front foot. Weight into the front foot. We're lifting the back leg off the ground, firm into the glute. Do that nice lift and lower. That's option one. Option two is instead of just lifting and lowering, you might draw the knee into the chest and then reach back. Draw the knee in and reach back. And draw the knee in and reach back. When you're ready, wherever you are, bring the knee into the chest. The toe can be down. Good. Hands come to the heart. Widen the knee out to the side, rotating outward. Hands might help to put the foot where you like. It might stay on the ground. Get yourself balanced. That right hip comes in, and then see about maybe lifting the arms up. Breathe, pause. Think about like a zipper zipping up the midline. It's okay if the foot comes down a bunch of times. That's helping. That is good for you. If the foot didn't come down, I'd be worried. All right. Good job, everybody. Draw the knee back to center. Nice. And then release. Inhale to lift up. Exhale, we're folding forward. So at that top of the mat, if you need a moment, take your pause. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. A little bit longer on this fold. So clasp opposite elbows. If you like, you can place the forearms on the thighs and let the head hang. This might be your forward fold. Might be best for you. You might go a little bit further into it. Totally up to what your body is okay with. Eventually, you're going to bend the knees more to support the hands onto the ground, stepping that left leg back. So the back knee can be down or lifted. You're going to squeeze the legs together until the hands come to that front thigh. And then only if it feels okay, you might reach those arms up. So different options, choosing what's best for your body. One more breath. Release the hands, slide that front foot a little bit closer so that you can get the back knee right underneath the thigh, right underneath the hips, and then do that little pelvic tilt. So tilt pubic bone to sternum and release. So tucking under tailbone and release, and tuck under and release, and tuck under. You can feel that left hip flexor. One more time, let's hold that. You really, really feel the stretch there. One more breath. Good, and then release that. Slide that right knee down. Let the hands come to the lower back. I like to tuck my toes, you might not. See about coming into a little back bend. So it doesn't have to be big, front of the chest gets a little opening. And scoop the belly in, send the bum back. Child's pose. You can always do downward dog. Arms might be alongside your body or extended. Knees might be together or apart. Soften into the face. Breathe into the lower back, the sides of the waist. Shift the hands under the shoulders to press yourself up. And then rotate yourself so that your knees are together, but your bottom is somewhere in the middle of the mat. And you have your knees together. We're going over to one side. I'm going to use a block to support the side of my head because both arms are going to extend long. So I have that bottom arm reaching, palm face up, top arm on top of it, palm face up. Head is rested on a block. Shift that top arm so that it stretches straight and further than the bottom, and then back. So it's like we're working on the space between the shoulder blades again, stretching out and back. And then one more stretching out and back. And then let's do one more of those stretching out, but then walk the arm over top of your head, rotate, firm the belly, coming into a twist and allowing the arm to extend. So you might feel a stretch in the front of the chest, rotating the torso up towards the sky. You can do this dynamically, so you can dance the arm around the head in this half moon shape, or maybe take a pause and hold. You know what's best in your body for twists. Give yourself just one more like that. And then make your way to your starting position. Use that top arm to press yourself up over to your back and then head over to the other side. I'm just going to flip sides. So knees are stacked up to the height of the hips. Lower arm is extended, palm face up. Upper hand is on top, and it's going to slide forward and back. Slide forward and back. It might seem like some subtle work, but you are getting between the thoracic spine area and the shoulder blades. And that, when we have more space there, it allows us to have more mobility in the shoulders and the neck. One more, stretching that top arm further, and then walk the arm over top. Firm the belly when you come into that twist portion. You might feel a stretch in the pectoralis muscle of the extended arm. And then your choice, you might move in and out of this dynamically, which is fun. Getting that rotation for the arm and the shoulder. Or you might take a pause in a spot that feels really good. Eventually come back to that starting position. Use the top arm to help push you onto your back. You might use that same block to support your head or a different size block. Use your feet to wiggle your hips over. Give yourself a nice aligned, balanced spine. Chin slightly into the chest. And then ask yourself if there's something that would support you well for your Shavasana. Maybe it's a bolster under the thighs. Maybe it's support under the head. Give yourself a deep, deep inhale through the nose. And then a big sigh, a big exhale out the mouth. Nothing to do for the next little while. Just rest, relax, and surrender. Let your breath softly deepen. Draw your awareness back to your body. Notice how things are. Notice any shifts or changes since the start of your practice. Maybe wiggle fingers and toes. You might want to give yourself a big stretch or draw your knees into your chest. And then eventually see about rolling to one side. Give yourself a couple transitioning breaths. Use that top arm to press yourself up into any comfortable seated position, whatever works for you. Your hands might stay on your thighs or come up to the place of the heart. Keep an inner focus, eyes closed or a fuzzy gaze. The invitation is to bow your head towards your heart in a sign of gratitude. Gratitude to yourself for practicing today and for listening to your inner teacher, and gratitude to those who have brought this practice to us. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free. Slowly lift your gaze. Namaste to you all. Thank you so much for practicing with me and being part of our yoga community. We bring our hands to our forehead for clarity of thought, to our mouths for purity of speech, to our heart for openness of heart. And we close with the seal of yoga. Thank you all so much again. It's so nice to be here with you all.